All right, we're going to talk about the real estate market, where we are, where we're going, where we came from, and what's going to happen next. Now, it's our job as real estate agents to make an observation and a forecast. And I'll come back to what that means in just a second. But for now, we're going to go to the whiteboard. All right. Make sure we're set up good. Okay, I don't need to be in the video, but I am. That's fine. All right, let's start here. This is 2002. Now, in 2002, we were coming off of a market shift where prices were going down. The market was not doing great. It wasn't a drastic shift. It was a minor shift, but it was a shift. And the market started to come back. And from 2002 until 2006, life is good. Homes are selling. We're in a seller's market. We're selling a lot of homes. The black line, by the way, is units closed. The blue line is home values. I'll get into that a little bit more in just a second. All right, so in 2006, we peaked in the number of homes that were being sold. If you look it up, I believe you'll find that there were 6.2 million homes sold in 2006. Inventory was 30 to 60 days. Homes were selling fast. Buyers were bidding the price up because buyers are competing for listings, and that's how prices go up. And again, it's a good market. Now, around that time, you started hearing that we're headed for a shift, okay? Kind of like today. And a lot of people said, no, that's crazy. We're not. And the data actually supported anyone who thought we're definitely not heading for a shift. That's fine. Even in 2006, when the number of homes that were being sold started to decline, the values were still going up because the home values always lag behind the number of units that are being closed. And we didn't see home values start to really decline until 2008. It was almost 2 years later. Now, when the market started going down, there were a lot of predictions that, okay, so we're in a shift. Here's what's going to happen. We're in a V market. Prices are going to drop for maybe a couple of years, and then they're going to go right back up. So by 2012, we're going to be back where we are in 2008. Okay. In reality, it looked more like a U, which is what typically happens. Rarely do you have a V market where prices drop, hit the bottom, go back up at the same rate that they were coming down. And we finally hit the bottom, if you want to call it that, in 2012. And then the market started coming back. All right. Home sales were going up. And this period here, right between 2008 and 2010, there were also two other things that were going on that really affected the market that I don't think we're dealing with at the same rate today. Recession and distressed sales. You had bank-owned properties, a lot of them. You had a lot of short sales that were going on in that market. I don't think that's the same that we're in today. So I think that's one of the things that makes this different. All right. As the number of homes that were being sold started to go up in 2012, notice the prices still continued to drop. They lagged behind the number of homes that were being sold, and eventually they started to go up as well. And if we fast forward to today and we say, okay, we're in 2024, this is the market that we're in today. What's going to happen next? Let's go back to observation and forecast. So as professional real estate agents, as local economists of choice, it's our job to understand how the market works, to be able to have intelligent conversations with buyers and sellers, and observation is to be able to see supply and demand, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. Where are we? Average days on market, is that trending up? Is it trending down? Average list price to sell price ratio. These are all things that we want to pay attention to. That's making an observation. Now, making a forecast is simply based on what I see, here's what I think is going to happen. All right, I'm going to talk about this red line that goes all across here. This is the trend line. And if you study the real estate market, there's this trend line that represents market appreciation over time. And as the market goes up, it gets above this trend line, and it kind of acts like if you had a bow and arrow and you pull that thing back. The farther back you pull, the farther you get away from this trend line, the more pressure there is on it for it to go back. And as you can see, 2006, 2008, we're way above the trend line. Values drop below the trend line, and we come back. The other thing I want you to see is homes are worth more today than they were in 2008. So that's a good thing. However, notice how far above the trend line we are. What do you think is going to happen next? Here's my thoughts. I think that interest rates dropping in 2024, we're below 7% for the first time in several months, is going to cause additional activity. We're going to see a lot of buyers come out who are going to buy now that wouldn't have bought 5-6 months ago. So we're going to see the market pick up. We're going to see more homes sold. And I believe what that's going to lead to is just going to take us further above that trend line. And the downside to this, it's going to lead to a recession. And it's going to lead to the number of homes being sold to decrease and values to drop as well. Just my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's my opinion on what's going to happen. Here's the other thing I want you to look at. You had 6.2 million homes sold in 2006. In 2022, we had roughly 6.2 million homes sold. Interesting, right? Now, in 2023, the numbers haven't come out yet, but when they do, pay attention, because I bet you're going to see those numbers are going to come in somewhere around 4.2 million homes sold in 2023. In other words, what we're seeing, if we're following the units closed, is we're seeing something similar to what we saw between 2006 and 2008. Pay attention. Your job is to make an observation and a forecast based on what you see. That's what I think is the future of the real estate market. And I want you guys to study this in order to be able to have these conversations with your customers. All right, talk to me.
You know, this is very interesting, and it's also very puzzling, along with a lot of thoughts. And I do feel that the market's going to be a better market in 2024 with the interest rates. I also feel that there's something else that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a short window of sellers being in position to get the highest amount of money for their home. But I think that window is going to be a very short window. I don't know how short that's going to be, you know. And then when that window starts to close, that's the thing that's very interesting to me, is that because homeowners still have equity in comparison to the 2008 era where no one had any. So that's the thing that's dicey.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the unknown of what's dicey. So those are just my thoughts. And those are the kind of conversations that I'm going to be having with homeowners and buyers so that they can make their decision on, you know, what's best for them at that time.
Yeah, I agree, Nathan. I think that's one of the things that makes this market different is we don't have the number of homeowners that are underwater on the value of their home, right? I think anybody who bought their home in the last 12 months, maybe last 18 to 20, maybe the last 2 years. Anyone that bought their home in the last 2 years, if they find themselves in a position where they have to sell in the next 12 months, they could be potentially looking at walking away with a loss. Anybody who bought prior to before 2 years ago, they've got lots of equity, they're fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey guys, don't just throw things in the chat. Take yourself off mute and talk to us.
No, I was gonna say that, but I think but this says existing. I just saw because I just was reading this the other day.
Share
So
with us what you saw.
well, it just said that it was the lowest home sold. It said so it was the number of homes sold in 2023 at 4.09. So what was the figure you just said? So
4.2. Yeah. So lower than what I said. And Crystal, the lowest number of homes sold since
1995.
there you go. Yep.
These are the conversations that I'm having with my sellers that are actively planning to sell this year. And they're trying to a few of them are trying to make improvements and they want to list in the spring. And we're talking about how long their improvements will take. And I said, rates have come down. It's a fantastic time. We do have data that shows we should have a strong summer, but come the fall and with the election, things get so chaotic that there is no promise. There is like Nathan said, it could be darkness. The fall tends to slow things anyway, seasonally, but who knows?
Yeah. Exactly, Joanne. All right, Crystal, had a chance to read your chat. Guys, that's great information that Crystal shared in the chat. Make sure you take a look at that and practice these conversations in order to be able to be the local economist of choice. The tougher the real estate market gets, the more of a skill-based market we're in, which means the real estate agents who master these conversations have a huge advantage over everybody else who doesn't. Crystal, thank you for including the link in there. That's awesome. All right, guys, grab that link. Make sure you read that article.
But wait,
Yep.
so, but with that being noted, I mean, because I was